WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. Ad Pro Sports. Ad Pro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
And welcome, everyone, to Western New York Athletics presentation of Saturday Night Football here. We are at Falconer Field, where the trio of a team, the Golden Cougars of Falconer, Cassadaga, Maple Grove, are hosting the Olean Huskies for a Class B2 matchup. I am Colin Wood, your play-by-play guy, alongside my partner in crime, Norm Rodriguez. Norm, we had a great game last night. Jamestown and Will North came down to a 2-point conversion, and I'm sure this one's going to be a close affair as well.
Oh, yeah, and Jamestown, I'm sure they're thinking now we got to take every game seriously because they had a 21-0 lead in that game. It was 28-12 at one point as well, and there was a point where the Spartans made it a 28-28 tie. They gave up another touchdown, but they completed a 99-yard drive. They chose to go for 2. They failed it, and I think that botched extra point attempt may have altered their confidence going for the 2. But right now, this is homecoming night here in Falconer, New York, and what's funny is they had their dance last night, and now the homecoming game is tonight. But with this game, I'm not expecting a lot of passing because Falconer, Cassadaga, Maple Grove, they're more known for running the option and lots of running, lots of ground and pound. I'm expecting a lot of that here on this field tonight.
Yeah, and they're led by Dalton Caldwell. He's normally the guy carrying the rock. He's been fantastic over the season. He's got 295 yards and 5 touchdowns. So both of these teams started out 2-0, and they're both trying to bounce back from a loss. Last week, the Golden Cougars fell short to Cheektowaga 30-14. They actually lost 3 fumbles on the ground. Caldwell only had 73 yards and a touchdown, by far his season low. And the Olean Huskies, they fell short to Albion 38-21, who the Cougars actually beat early on in the season. Huskies had a solid game. They did okay running the ball, passing the ball. There really wasn't a stat line that stuck out. Albion was just the better team on the night. So both teams trying to bounce back to make it 3-1.
Yeah, the catch always for Caldwell, those 73 yards, it took him 21 carries. So that's roughly 3.5 yards per rush. And from what I'm seeing here, and only 28 pass attempts this year by their quarterback, Lucas Sopak. Last week, 22 of them were in that game.
By far his most attempts on the year. That's one of the keys for the Olean defense is try to contain Dalton Caldwell on the ground. You want to force Sopak to throw the ball. And another thing, you have to be disciplined in that secondary because they will lull you to sleep with that run and then throw one over top your head. That's one thing the secondary's got to be ready for. It's a play style that Kurt Fisher has had in his long-tenured coaching career. Fun fact tonight, he's actually going for his 226th career win in high school football. What an impressive stat line. The man currently in his 34 years with the headset on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm anticipating, like I said, a ground and pound matchup, and I'm not too certain, never really doing an Olean football game before, not too sure what they do offensively.
Well, really, they like to mix it up. Joe Mest on the year, he's the starting quarterback. He has 414 yards and 5 touchdowns. Memphis at the starting running back with 281 yards and a touchdown. And they have a really deep threat at wide receiver, Cade Anastasia. So far, 12 catches, 196 yards, and 2 scores through 3 games.
So roughly averaging 16 yards a catch. But it looks like we're about to have both teams line up for the national anthem. It looks like it indeed is going to happen, Colin. So to all the viewers listening into this matchup here, Falconer, Olean up next right here on WNY Athletics.
That was a fantastic job with the national anthem right there by the young lady from Falconer.
I heard she's a junior in high school, actually, according to the PA guy. But before the start of the game, I was able to actually get the officials for tonight's matchup here. The head referee will be Vince Joy, Bill Caldwell, the umpire, and we've got a Gugino squared here. Todd Sr. at the head linesman, Todd Jr. line judge, and Tony Giardini is the back judge. So those are the officials for tonight's game as we're about to have the coin toss, and a lot of gray overcast in the clouds, but I do not anticipate any rain.
A lot warmer than last night, so that's going to give plenty of room for Olean to throw the ball what they like to do. They're going to mix it up, as you mentioned, Cassadaga, Falconer, Maple Grove. They're that grounded pound offense, and they have a tandem of running backs who also, that's one of their keys to the game. Normally, in the wins they had when they were 2-0, when they beat, it was Albion and East Aurora Holland. They were led by Dalton Caldwell, obviously, but it was Garrett Williams and Charlie Reichenbach who also stepped up to carry some of the load and take some pressure off his shoulders. In the loss last week against Cheektowaga, he only had 73 yards, and no one else was able to really get going. So they got a three-headed monster in the backfield. That's one of their keys. Keep the backs fresh and keep them rotating.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, Reichenbach, he's only a sophomore, so that could be an advantage for these Golden Cougars, because he'll be back for another 2 years. And he's averaging almost 10 yards a carry on a dozen runs. He doesn't have a touchdown yet, but 12 runs for 119, as long as being 55 yards.
Another storyline for the Huskies. They forced combined 9 turnovers in their 2 wins early on, and that kind of coincides with the 3 turnovers, specifically the 3 fumbles that the Cougars had last week. So if you're Olean, you want to get at that ball, you want to try and strip it, and if you're the running backs for the Cougars, you got to protect that rock with your life and keep your offense moving.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, though, in their game last week against Cheektowaga, the Golden Cougars were up at halftime 14-6, but they gave up 24 unanswered points in the second half, and they were shut out the rest of the way. And Zopak, it looked like from his stat numbers, maybe a little reluctant with the throwing. He was 11-22, but he only had 127 yards passing, so just a smidge under 6 yards per attempt.
So the Huskies will be receiving the opening kickoff.
They did win the toss, too.
It's going to be Braylon Palladino, number 84, the young lady for the Cougars, who is in her second year now with the place-kicking duties. And that is number 21, Cade Anastasia, the shifty wide receiver, back deep to return.
I do believe I also see, looked like there was it is, number 10, Ryan Eisenberg. He's right beside him as well.
As we get ready for another action-packed, the crowd is ready to go here on homecoming night. The stands are as full as they can get as Palladino sends this one away, and it's a nice kick. And it's fumbled. Number 10 recovers it, and he's got really nowhere to go. That was number 10, Ryan Eisenberg, who botched the initial kickoff, able to pick it up, but didn't really get anything positive out of the air, so not great starting field position for the Huskies.
Give Eisenberg credit, though. He juggled it, but he was able to recover it, get a few yards out of it. This was something that Williamsville North had trouble with last night. Ella Profiter, Jamestown's kicker, she was doing a lot of the squib kicks, and some of them are so bouncy off the turf, it bounced off the hands like they had palm olive, Pam cooking spray, or butter on them.
And that got them in an early hole to start the game. They almost came back, but don't want to dig yourself a hole that deep to start. As they send it first play, and we already have a penalty after the man was sent in motion. Didn't quite see what it was, and it's going to be offsides against the Cougars.
Wow. Someone's helmet must have lined up over the ball.
So early mistake. Looked like it was number 28, Dalton Caldwell, the star running back. So 1st and 5 for the Huskies early on. As they send a man in motion again. Drops back the pass, and that is incomplete. As Mest was looking for his intended target, number 23, Caden Tingley. And this is what they like to do, Norm. They mix it up very well. They have a balanced offense. It's going to be tough for the Cougars to defend.
Well, it's not a bad idea. It's only a 1st and 5 because of the offsides penalty. Try to go with a simple wheel route on a pass, but it was just off the mark.
And that's one thing the Cougars want to do. They want to bring pressure on Mest. Try to get him rattled early on. When he has time, he will torch you. 2nd and 5. This time a give up the middle. Solid hole. And close to a first down. Set up 3rd and short.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing right now, Falconer, a standard defense. They're into the 4-3. 7 around the box area, but they're not indicating any rush or any blitzing as of yet. But with it being 3rd down a yard, I'm thinking jam that box. Put 7 or 8 defenders in there because 3rd and 1, 9.9 times out of 10, it's going to be a running play.
This is a pass-based offense, and that's one thing you want to do is force Olean to run. Memphis App is a solid back for the Huskies. As they stack it to the near side, and the give is stuffed immediately, and I don't think he got it. That is a gain of 0 on the play, so it brings up an early 4th down. And I would like to think that Coach Vecchio is not going to roll the dice here early. But I could certainly be wrong. You never know.
Or maybe try to get him to jump off sides. But that was Adam Brisky, number 40, on the stop. He jammed through the A-gap and stopped the back for no gain, but it looks like they are punting the ball. And not a clear view what the number is, but it looks like it's Linderman,
yep,
number 9.
Number 9, Alex Linderman. As the Cougars have 2 returners back deep. And this one is low, but caught at about the 42 and brought down immediately. So great starting field position for Cassadaga, Falconer, Maple Grove.
Yeah, give credit to Anastasia on the tackle. The return was by Mathis Bear. And there's also running into the kicker penalty, and With it being a 4th and 1, the penalty yardage, that's going to result in a first down for Olean.
We apologize for that. I did not see the flag on the play, so that is a huge mistake, something that Fisher's not going to be a fan of.
So it's a reprieve for Olean. This is now an advantage for them. They get the first break of the game, albeit it's just a running into the kicker penalty. But that offense will probably be relaxed a little bit, and I'm sure that defense, though, they're like, hey, it gives us another chance to hit somebody.
And that is unfortunate, especially with the rules have changed trying to protect the punter on that play. You have to be really careful when you bring the house to try to block a punt. So nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Huskies. They set up shop at about their own 40, give up the middle, and that is swallowed up immediately. That was number 48, Devin Morrison, who has been a beast for the Cougars all season long.
So it got ruled as a loss of 2 yards on the play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 12. But they mix it up. They're not afraid to throw it. We saw it on their first play of the game. So I'm sure they'll have a response.
Morrison has been doing work all over the field on defense over the course of the season. 15 tackles, 2 sacks. Devin and Bryant Morrison, the brothers of the Cougars, they really are a tandem that has been a problem for offenses all season long. But 1st and 10, back to pass, and low and incomplete. That time Mest just kind of threw that one in the dirt, didn't really have anywhere to go with it. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. Once again, Huskies trying to convert a 3rd down. And that's one thing you want to do. You want to keep the Cougar offense off of the field because they are going to wear your own defense down. Pretty big here for Olean, trying to pick up some first downs on this initial drive.
What I wouldn't mind seeing, though, get at least one edge rusher on one of the sides and try to jackknife it through a blocker and try to rush the passer, because this is going to be a passing down here for 3rd and 12, and there is a twins on both sides, and they got 5 in the box.
I would assume Mest is going to drop back, and he does, and he hits looking for the post route, and that is incomplete. Going to his go-to guy, Cade Anastasia, who's been electric over the course of the season. But once again, Mest looking a little rattled in that pocket, a couple incompletions. Hopefully next drive he can get into sort of a rhythm here. As once again, we're going to see a punt. Linderman to kick it deep.
Yeah, give Falconer credit, though. They shook off that penalty. They force a semi 3-and-out, and it's going to be a part 2 on the punt.
And this one's low towards the sideline, and they're just going to let that roll out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So I guess the one positive you can take away from that for Olean is you flipped the field by about 20 yards.
Yeah, and they had the rush coming on the right side, and they nearly had the block, but I would assume better discipline this time, not trying to go full throttle and inadvertently bump the kicker.
So now we get to see this ground and pound, almost sort of like Army, Navy, Air Force, those colleges that might throw it 2 or 3 times a game. We get to see this offense from the Cougars, who's going to chew up clock as they hope to get first downs. And they run it out of all kinds of formations, too.
Yeah, this one here's the wishbone.
As Welsh goes in motion, gets the keeper on the outside, and he's got some room, and he's out in the sideline, still going. So great first play there by Matt Welsh on the jet sweep there. Gets across midfield. And Golden Cougars striking early on.
Usually when it comes to the triple option kind of offenses, you're usually either seeing a wing tee or a wishbone, and the top 3 plays are either a fullback dive, a sweep, or a quarterback dive.
Welsh is by far one of their top receivers over the year. He's really the only one that kind of comes up with a catch, as here we see the infamous 500 series from Kurt Fisher, the good old wing tee. That's what he used to call it, though, the 500. As Sopak pitches this outside, and solid, not much doing there.
Great defensive pursuit, though, there by Bates.
That was Welsh once again. We're going to see all kinds of misdirection from the Golden Cougars. It's one thing the Olean Huskies have to stay disciplined on. It's just knowing where that football is at all times.
Yeah, the number one rule when you're on the defensive line or you're in the front three of the linebackers is you never want to over-pursue on a running play because even if you're off by a step, you're going to get burnt.
So Sopak under center this time. And the snap is fumbled initially, and it looks like he's able to come up with it. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. And that's a win if you're the Huskies on defense. This is an offense you do not want to set up, at least in terms of 3rd down. You want to try and stretch it out for them, put them in obvious passing situations, or at least make them think about throwing the ball.
Well, with it being 3rd down and 8, that's usually traditionally a throwing down, and he's going to be in a pistol formation here, so a bit of a abandonment of the option.
And just a little fake inside, and that's Caldwell.
Little Statue of Liberty there.
Yeah, that was a great play design there. Fake like he's just going to keep it on the power. Caldwell comes underneath, running to the opposite side, and that had the Husky defense fooled from the start. So once again, another 1st down. Cougars at the Husky 39-yard line.
I wonder, though, what's going to happen next. And honestly, if you're Olean, you know the kind of things that this team runs. It would not hurt to put 7 or 8 in the box and jam it.
And this time a give to Welsh around the edge. He's got a blocker in front. That's Caldwell. Makes a man miss. Still going. And he is wrapped up out of bounds at about the 15. So Matt Welsh and Cam Bauer, the two guys who sit in that edge spot, who either one of them typically goes in motion, and Caldwell is the set back. And I know we say, you got to watch the ball on defense. You got to know where it's going, but it is a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, the main pro with this type of offensive scheme is if you got a lead, you can milk a lot of clock. But if you're down by more than 7 points, then you got to abandon the run game a little bit as Caldwell gets plugged up.
Yeah, not much doing there for Caldwell. He is bottled up there by number 56, Chris Bargy. They'll bring up 2nd and long. And that's one thing they got to do, though. They got to get Caldwell going initially, but it's nice to see them mix in other guys early on so he doesn't have to carry the total load for them.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea when you got the earth, wind, and fire when it comes to 3 strong running backs. Put them all to use. You want to keep your main guys fresh, and that way you can put a backup in, and they can get a little bit of rest and go back out there feeling good for the next play.
As goes in motion, and he's got room, and a flag comes down. Looks like this one's going to be coming back. Once again, that was number 4, Cam Bauer.
The flag looks like it's in the vicinity of holding.
So we do think this one's coming back. Have to wait and see on the official call, but yep, and it looks like this one's coming back for 10.
Well, this is the main difference, though. In high school football in New York, it's the yardage of the penalty plus the 10 yards. So sometimes it could be less than 10, and then there's times where it's a lot more than 10 yards.
And this is an offense that you don't want to see behind the sticks. They like to work it with at least 10 or less to go. But right now they're sitting at about, I'd say, roughly 2nd and close to 16 or 17 here. And the give to the outside, that is Welsh. He's got some room, cuts it back, and he's still going and dives for the pylon. It's going to be close.
From my view, it looked like he was tackled at around the 1.
So once again, these guys getting the outside carries, Matt Welsh and Cam Bauer, you get them in space, they make guys miss. And they are really torching this run defense here for the Huskies early on. As it's going to set up 1st and goal from inside the 2, and now you got your full playbook at disposal. You can really run anything here.
So clockwise, they haven't chewed up a lot of time as opposed to most teams that do this. It's only been like around 3 minutes and change, but it looks like they're going to be in a single back and a man in motion.
And this time the give up to Caldwell, and it looks like, oh, he is short.
From my view, it looked like he was going to fall in the end zone.
He was close. He was bottled up initially. And it's going to be no gain as the ball is set at about the spot it was on the previous play.
Ball at the 1 yard line. It wouldn't hurt to try a sneak, just snap it over to Sopak, let him jump over the pile. Because it's not about getting in the end zone, it's about that ball breaking the goal line.
And they do have an experienced line up front, although Kurt Fisher pregame did talk about some injuries to some guys. They are a little banged up, but they're sticking through it here.
And they're in a triple I right now.
Caldwell the setback. It's going to be a gift to him, and he's going to walk in for a touchdown. Early strike for the Golden Cougars, looking sharper than iron on that first initial drive. After Olean gets the running into the kicker penalty, they luck out, but then they go 3 and out after that, and great response by the Cougars.
Yeah, we're about to see the PAT, and Caldwell, he just walked in there untouched.
As number 84, Braylon Palladino lines up. We saw her in warm-ups. She was kicking field goals from about 38, as this one is low, but it goes through, and it is good for a 7-0 lead early on here.
So now it's Olean's turn to respond. About 4:41 left in the first, and 7-0 already in favor of the Golden Cougars. They're wanting to get a win here on homecoming weekend. Speaking of homecoming week, we're going to be back at Strider Field next week for Jamestown's homecoming game. That's against Niagara Falls, and that's another one where it should be a packed house at Strider Field.
That it certainly will be. Cassadaga, Falconer, Maple Grove, they milk a lot of clock on that drive. 4:41 remaining as they went about 63 yards on that drive, chewed up some clock, and they give their defense some rest. Can't ask for much more than that as Palladino gets set to kick it off here. Time for the Huskies to figure out a response. And that first drive, Mest certainly looked out of sync with his receivers. They weren't exactly on the same page. They got to figure out something early to get him going here. As Palladino sends this one away to the left side, and that is fielded at about the 20. As they'll take this one up the middle, and he is brought down immediately. Caldwell with a statement hit.
And that was Eisenberg again on the return, and these are decent kickoffs by Palladino, and that one just right into Eisenberg's range, made the catch, got it to the 30-yard line. That is decent field position to start your next drive, and so far the 2 chances for Olean, there was a first 3 and out, then the running into the punter, and then another 3 and out, and then the punt and Falconer's drive for a score. And they're going twins right now in a single back, 2 wides each side.
So Mest is on this drive. I'm sure he's going to be going to his go-to guy, number 21, Cade Anastasia. He's got a couple guys in his face, and he is sacked. 2 guys brought the house there for the Cougars. That was number 34. I saw one, Brody Little. He's forced a couple turnovers over the course of the season and had a couple sacks to his name. As these linebackers for the Cougars, they have been all over the field to help them get to 2-1.
And Little ran in unblocked. He was unattended by the line or an end, and he took advantage of that and got to the quarterback for a sack. And that sack results in a 6-yard loss. So this is 2nd and 16. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right.
This is a Cougar defense that only gives up 275 yards a game on offense as Mest drops back, looks to his left. Now he rolls out, and he is dropped once again. Back-to-back sacks for the Cougars. That was number 48, Devin Morrison. And I promise you, Norm, we're going to be saying his name a lot tonight.
So back-to-back sacks. This one's going to be looks like it's going to be a 14-yard loss from what I saw on it. No, I beg your pardon, a 6-yard loss. So 3rd and 20. 3rd down a couple miles for the Huskies. And the way that's going, they're going to need to get on their sled and have their guy go, mush, mush.
They got to figure out something here early on as they spread it out this time. 2 setbacks, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side.
Probably motion over guys.
And he's going to have pressure in his face, and they just stuff it up the middle to number 10, Ryan Eisenberg, for maybe a gain of a yard. And that's going to bring out the punt unit for the Huskies. So another 3 and out. And they give the ball back to this Cougar offense who was rolling on that opening drive.
And so far in the first 3 drives, they've got minus 10 yards of offense. -10.
Not a stat you want to see at all.
I do see, though, that Welsh and Bear are the 2 deep men for this punt. Let's see if they can get a clean snap in the end zone.
As Linderman fields it, he sends this one away. It's nearly blocked, and it drops at about the 40, takes a Cougar bounce, and is going to be down at around the 38. Number 21, Cade Anastasia, downs that one for the Huskies.
Sometimes, Colin, the bounce is not your best friend, and I'm sure the Golden Cougars are coming out in the field hungry for another score before the end of the first quarter. But again, that triple option offense, that does burn a lot of clock. It would make a farmer proud with milking the cow's udder.
And I can't imagine they're going to change it up too much here on this drive after just about everything worked. They clicked on all cylinders on their opening drive. As they change up the formation here, run out of the pistol, and that's a sweep to Welsh on the outside. Makes a man miss, and a solid gain on first down there. Second and short.
Yeah, it looked like it was a 6-yard gain, so it's going to be 2nd down and 4. Yeah, again, don't let Sopak's passing numbers, don't let that deceive any of you, because out of the 28 last week, 22 were in that game against Cheektowaga. The other 2, he had 3 apiece.
And Sopak gives it back to Welsh going on the other side. Gets past the defense, and he's still going, and finally brought down.
Got out around the 6-yard line.
So Welsh early on churning the wheels. Got to be averaging at least 10 yards a carry or so far, as they have not been able to find a way to stop him on that sweep to the outside. Once again, Cougars threatening inside the 10 at the 9. It's going to be 1st and goal, as they're looking to make this 14-0 here, as we're about a minute and some change left in the first quarter. This is going to be a fast game, Norm. If Olean wants to come out on top, they got to make their possessions count.
This is a Caldwell again. It was 1st and goal. The ball spot at the 9. Looks like he got about a yard or 2. And from my view, it was brushing him on the tackle.
So interesting concept from the Olean defense. They're sort of keen in on Caldwell. Even though he had that short touchdown, he hasn't been able to produce many yards on these carries, but they've had a hard time defending those jet sweeps and the runs to the outside. And it is, like we said, easier said than done. You got to contain the outside, have your defensive ends set the edge, and also have your linebackers stay home in the middle for when Caldwell gets the carry.
Triple I formation right here. This could be another give to Caldwell.
Once again it is, and he is shoelace tackled inside the 5, but solid gain there on the inside dive.
Yeah, got it for about 4 yards on that. Just fouled his blocks of the A gap, but thankfully for Olean, they had a couple of defensive linemen ready for the stop. They don't go for that tackle. That would have been a walk in the end zone, but that does conclude a quarter with the Cougars threatening to score again.
So first quarter score, 7-0 in favor of the Cougars as they are threatening. Second quarter, we'll have the Cougars at the 4-yard line trying to make it a 2-score game. We'll see you on the other side for Western New York Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Welcome back, listeners. I am Colin Wood alongside Norm Rodriguez here. We have the Cassadaga Falconer Maple Grove Golden Cougars taking on the Olean Huskies. 7-0 is our first quarter score, but the Cougars once again threatening inside the 5. And I would assume they're going to go back to basics and probably just give it up to Caldwell up the middle, how they got the first touchdown.
This could be a sweep here, though, too.
And it's actually going to be a sweep to Welsh, trying to get the corner, and he's going to dive into the end zone for another score. He cannot be stopped on that outside run.
Call me Tony Romo on that one. Usually when that man's set in motion on the flanker side on the split end, they're set in motion. There's at least 5 times out of 10 it's going to be a handoff to them on a jet sweep.
You were right about that, Norm. The Cougars have been mixing it up after they did not have a productive game last week in terms of offense. I mean, they were shut out they weren't shut out, but they lost 30-14 against Cheektowaga. Never really got anything going offensively as Palladino's kick is up and good. 14-0 Cougars. And good news for Olean, though. They do have the offensive play style to come back from this deficit, but the first 2 drives were certainly ugly, and they got to get something going here because Mest really hasn't had any time to throw.
Yeah, it's pretty much basically been 3 and outs, to the exception of that running into the kicker penalty, and then it was pretty much back-to-back 3 and outs, and they ended up having to punt it again. And so far, the offense, those gears are just grinding so bad, you're getting more smoke than out of a smokestack.
We haven't seen Memphis App, the running back for the Huskies, a lot tonight. It's mostly been dropbacks for Mest. They could certainly use his help right now in the season. He's got 281 rushing yards and a touchdown. So you do the math, he averages just shy of about 100 yards a game rushing. That's not bad, especially in a Class B2 where the defense is stout.
Yeah, it's about 94 rush yards a game.
Oh, all right, human calculator. I wasn't willing to do that and embarrass myself, but
that's all right.
Someone's got to fact check Norm on that.
Well, if it was one more yard, it'd be 94 even, as we're about to get toe to leather again.
Palladino sends this one to the sideline, and it's fielded at about the 20. And this is a solid return across the 30.
It was Tingley on it.
So that was number 23, Caden Tingley on the return. So better field position for Olean this time around.
I'm wondering what Olean's going to do to respond. 14 points, it's not insurmountable. Plus, the second quarter just started. If they can muster a few good plays, there's no reason why they can't get a touchdown on the board and cut this down to 1 possession. However, the defense needs to be just as helpful for Olean as the offense has to be, as they're in a 3-wide set.
Well, this is a tough defensive box they're going against here. And this is a give up the middle to number 10, Ryan Eisenberg, but he is swallowed for a loss as they are behind the chains, 2nd and long.
And it looks like the Golden Cougars are starting to pick up the blitzing a little bit. That's the second time on a different play in the last 2 possessions for Olean where a defender came in unblocked and either had a tackle for a loss on a back or they picked up a sack on Joe Mest.
This was one of the keys to the game for the Golden Cougars. This is a pass-based offense, and right now they're getting pressure on Mest. They're trying to run the ball, but even that's not working out for them.
Yeah, that was a 3-yard loss on that play as well. 7 in the box.
Gets the snap, fake handoff, play action, looks downfield into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Austin Chase with the pick, and he is still going down the sideline at about the 25. Austin Chase read that perfectly. Right in that safety spot, just keying in on Mest's eyes the whole time, and he comes up with a huge turnover.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's the first completion Mest has had, but sadly it was to the other team.
You know, that is certainly not the stat you want to see. Finally someone comes up with the ball, but not the jersey color you're looking for. And once again, Golden Cougars short field, trying to make this a 3-score game. And now if you're Olean, this is a nightmare start, and you really put yourself in a hole here.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm the Golden Cougars, even though they're very run-happy, I'd say try a play-action fake, go for all the marbles on this first down. And they're in the pistol right here with 3 backs.
Once again, they fake the give. This is a keeper for Sopak, and he gets a solid gain there on first down. Or excuse me, that was Matt Welsh with the direct snap and the keeper on the Wildcat.
Pulling out the bag of tricks right off the bat. So that was a 4-yard gain, so it was positive yardage, and they're getting close again to that Husky red zone.
You know, that's what a lot of coaches say. If you can give me 3 to 5 yards on every play, we will take that. So far, Cougars getting positive yards on every play. Man goes in motion, give up the middle to Caldwell, and he barrels over a defender.
Looks like he got to about the 15-yard line, so that's going to be more than enough for a first down.
Certainly it will. Once again inside the red zone, and the Husky defense could certainly use a break here. Maybe a turnover, like the turnovers they forced in the first 2 games. But so far, I think Kurt Fisher spoke with his team and said, we got to hold on to the ball when we're carrying it. 3 fumbles last week so far. Everyone, Matt Welsh, Dalton Caldwell, and even Cam Bauer, they're running with some passion right now.
They want to atone for that loss and also have a cap off of a Spirit Week and Homecoming Week for the Golden Cougars.
Sweep to Bauer on the outside, gets it inside right around the 10. As once again they pick up right around 4 or 5 yards on first down.
They called it 5. I wonder when you played, because this was like this when I was playing football, when it came to coach requirements, when it came to, for example, rushing the ball, reasonable, 4 yards a carry, outstanding, 5 yards.
And that makes a huge difference because the yards that you pick up on first and second down, that determines your play call on third down too. And when you can set up second, third, and short, you really have your old playbook at disposal. Welsh goes in motion. He gets the give on the outside, cuts it back in, makes another man miss. Boy,
wow.
He is shifty. He's going to be close to the end zone,
He's
right?
down at the 1.
Down to the 1, but makes a couple guys miss. A little shake and bake from Matt Welsh. And he is having all kinds of real estate in front of him when he gets to the outside.
Autos, from seeing him run, he looks like a human joystick.
Someone's controlling him with a Xbox controller playing Madden. I don't play a lot of Madden. I don't know what button that would be, but so far, fireworks from Castiga Falconer Maple Grove on offense, and they are doing a great job here. Ball at the 2-yard line.
And it looks like a timeout was called because both teams are out in the field, and Golden Cougars are getting a water break right now as well. So they're looking to get their 3rd score of the game, make it possibly at least minimum 20-0 pending the extra point as the offense is back out on the field. And so far here, the homecoming game for the Golden Cougars, it's been all them on all cylinders. Defensively, they're jamming the gaps, they're crowding the box, and that's been a problem with Olean defensively. Though they run the 4-3 like the Golden Cougars do, their 3 linebackers, they're just kicking back around 3-4 yards behind instead of trying to jam the box, getting more physical, and trying to get stops at around the line of scrimmage.
And this is a give up the middle to Caldwell, and he's going to be in for another Golden Cougar touchdown. 20-0. And this is a nightmare start for Olean, and you can't ask for a better start if you're Kurt Fisher and the Cougars. So once again, it's going to be number 84, Braylon Palladino, on to attempt the extra point. Caldwell is the holder. And she has been money so far.
She's got a rocket for a leg from what we've seen.
Low snap, high in the sky, and that one's good. Make it 3 for 3 for the night on Palladino. So I'm not sure what it's going to take from Olean's offense, maybe even special teams to get back in the play. That is one sector that we have seen really change the course of some games in some of the ball games we've called over the past couple weeks. We did Jamestown-Lockport a couple weeks ago. Lockport got back into the game with some punt returns and other special teams plays, so they might have to draw something up here, get a nice return, but that offense has really got to get churning.
Yeah, so far they're in negative yardage on total offense, and they've got to figure something out. Right now, just go one play at a time. Start it off with a first down for a good building block, and then turn it into getting into the Golden Cougar territory, another positive block, and then getting a touchdown on the board, getting that goose egg off. You add the 3rd one, and you're on your way to a possible comeback, except we saw it last night nearly fully happen as Total Leather on the way and fielded it around the 15-yard line, and looking for a wall of blockers to the 30 and to the 35. It looked like that was Memphis App on the return.
And he is their starting running back, so it's good to see him get some kind of action, even if it is on special teams. But we see him trotting off So what we thought was their starting running back, they are mixing up the formations a little bit. I would assume since they're down by 3 touchdowns. Oh, excuse me. He's actually the one running over to the sideline getting the play call. So I kind of like that strategy. Don't have your quarterback go over get the play. Have your running back, who's probably a lot better conditioned, go get it for you.
A lot of teams do that. That's actually not an abnormality at all, but looks like they're going to have to start throwing it here.
So it's App and Noah Gallo in the backfield. Messed back to pass. Man in his face once again. He launches it deep, and this is nearly intercepted almost with his second pick. That is great coverage by Mathis Bear on the secondary end of that. Stuck with his man all the way.
And that was intended for Anastasia. And should he have been able to make a miraculous catch and Bear were able to hypothetically fall down, that's possibly 6 points right there. But so far for Mest, no completions, 1 interception. He's got to find a way to turn this around for himself sooner rather than later because the deficit is growing and Falconer's jamming that box again.
And this is a give up the middle to App as he gets through the defensive line, lost his balance, able to recover. Finally a positive play, something going for the Husky offense as we have a flag, and if this is coming back, that is...
I wonder if it's an or after the play flag because it's nowhere near the line of scrimmage.
Oh, wow, a face mask on defense. So that'll help out an offense that has been lackluster nonetheless to start. And I like that they get App going, but in terms of Joe Mest, you got to just get him some short completions, get him his confidence built up. He's been launching it all over so far, and it has not been on target. This time a give once again to App. Escapes the tackle, bounces to the outside, and a nice run there on first down. Going to set up second and short. So finally able to get a couple positive plays.
Looked like App got about 9 yards on that, and looks like this drive's starting to come together a little bit, aided by that face mask penalty on the Golden Cougars. And this is their chance right here. They're finally in opposing team territory. Turn this into 6. 21 points is, like I said, when it was 14-0. It's not insurmountable. You're in the second quarter. It's way too early to panic. And with the talent you have, you should be more than capable of coming back from 21-0.
At the setback, and he's going to get the call once again up the middle, and he is stuffed and wrestled down for even a loss there. That was number 17 who got a hold of him, Landon Jones.
I did also see Bryant Morrison there on an assist as well. So they find an answer stopping App, who had a couple of nice runs on this drive. And from what I'm seeing, though, they're showing the blitz quite a bit to possibly cut off lanes for App and also to possibly also cut off lanes for Mest. Because I would presume he's got some mobility.
Running out of the same formation. They shift Noah Gallo out. This is a toss to App. Cuts it back, and he is dropped by a convoy of defenders. We saw all kinds of people in there for the Cougars.
Main guy, though, was Garrett Williams, number 62.
As we have an injured player down on the field. It is 4th down. That is Memphis App. Looks like he's okay, able to get up on his own.
May have had the wind knocked out of him. But it looks like they're going to punt here, and honestly, though,
I don't mind that call. You know, there's still
not a bad idea.
A half and a quarter of the second quarter left. You're inside your own territory. I think your best chance to get back in this game is try to pin the Cougar offense deep. If you give them another short field to work with, they could easily make this a 4-touchdown ball game.
Yeah, and from what I see, it's actually Thomas Bates that's punting. Now I got a better view of the jersey number. And the deep man back, the main one's going to be Matt Welsh, who scored the last touchdown for Falconer. But first, we've got a timeout, and that's going to be called by the Olean Huskies, and 21-0 in favor of the Golden Cougars. They're about to get the ball back. And Colin, let's take a break.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo man.
And once again, we are back. 4th down for Olean. They're going to send this away. Thomas Bates back to kick. Little confusion there on the alignment for the Cougar return team. And this is a fake punt. Bates sets back, and this is caught just past the first down marker. Looks like that was number 21, Kate Anastasia. Runs the deep out route. So, you know, that made sense, honestly. Thomas Bates is their backup quarterback. And
why not use him?
I think the Cougars saw that coming. They just weren't ready for the play design. So,
yeah. I came close to calling it, though, because usually when it comes to a punt formation, when you send a man in motion, that's a possible fake. One of the best guys, though, at fake punts from NFL-wise, Johnny Hecker.
So this is their first down without a penalty, allowing them to pick it up. This time a give up the middle, not a lot doing there. That was Noah Gallo, who's been sort of playing that fullback / wing spot on the night. So now if you're Olean, you converted the fake punt. I would assume from that point on, now that they moved it into plus territory, it's going to be 4 downs to try and pick up the first down. They're going to show no signs of punting or attempting a field goal.
And it would be 4 down territory, but it's only 2nd down and 9 yards to go. So if they can get at least half of this, they should be all right.
Once again, give up to App. He's got some room up the middle. A nice run on 2nd down. Going to be close to the first down marker. He's going to be just short. It's going to set up 3rd and right around a yard. And certainly in this case, this is 4 down territory here. Down 3 touchdowns. And you want to be careful here, too. This game has gone by incredibly fast.
Yes, it has.
We've hit the 4-minute mark in the 2nd quarter. If you're Olean, you want to try and milk some clock yourself, because you don't want to give it back to the Golden Cougar offense. Even though they are a run-based team, the last thing you want to do is give them a chance to put some more points up on the board.
Yeah, and looking at the spot of the ball, it looks like it'll be 3rd down and 6 inches, 33.5-yard line.
Once again, Mess the snap, App the carry, and he's going to have the first down. Forward progress, going to give him a gain of a couple right at around the 32-yard line. And we get the official call from the referee, Vince Joy. He puts the hand forward. It is a first down. So finally some momentum here going for Olean. Under 3.5 to play. Plenty of time. Really can run or pass. You have 2 timeouts at your disposal. So really your main focus here is getting 6. Especially considering the fact that the Golden Cougars will receive starting in the second half.
With it being first down, why not give it a shot and try throwing one in the end zone?
And Mest looks that way to his left. Look for his man, and he is dropped. Number 48. That's Devin Morrison with his 2nd sack on the night. And he is just a monster there and a nightmare for quarterbacks in Class B.
4th sack of the game for the Golden Cougars in just the first half. And Mest, he's been... got to tip your hat to him a little bit. He's trying to get them in the end zone, but he is taking a pounding while doing it. What I'm seeing, though, the Golden Cougars, they've been blitzing pretty much every play, if not every other play, but it looks like they're laid back a little bit, and they have got 3 defensive backs, 2 corners.
Once again, Mest back to pass, looks at his man the whole way, finds App on the little, just kind of the Texas route. Just sits down in the soft spot there right around the linebackers. just to get something positive going.
That was Brody Little on the tackle, and it looked like it was a delayed halfback screen, but the defense wasn't fooled. It looked like it was for very minimal yardage. It's going to be 3rd down 17, or 3rd down 15 after the correction. It's at the 39-yard line. They got to get to the 24 to get a first, but right now the goal should be at least get half the yardage. Make it at least manageable for 4th down, should that occur.
Get some of that back. If you can at least get half of this back, like you said, that sets you up for a way better chance at converting the 4th down. And Mess, this time it's going to be a give to Ab. The defense wasn't ready for it, but he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So they tried to fool the defense in an obvious passing situation, go with the run.
Olean timeout.
So timeout Huskies, as they're going to try and draw something up here to convert this long 4th down after executing the fake punt to perfection.
Yeah, it's 4th down, 11 yards to go. They're at the Golden Cougar 33-yard line, and if I'm the head coach of the Huskies, I'm not calling a run play, and it wouldn't hurt if you're able to fool the defense enough to try a different kind of a screen, whether it be to a tight end or a possible bubble screen to a receiver. But at the same token, though, we have seen, even though he hasn't completed a pass as of yet, Mess does have a good arm.
Yeah, and so far he has been, I'm not sure if he's been predetermining his throws, but the majority of passing plays, he's been looking down his go-to guy, Cade Anastasia. He's got to try and find a way to get his other guys involved, Caden Tingley and Ryan Eisenberg, some of the key wide receivers on this team.
Well, the number one thing, though, as well, and it's a cardinal rule on 4th and long, if there's a ball going in the end zone and you're trying to cover a receiver, unless you fall in the end zone, do not pick it off because you forfeit a lot of yardage. But sorry, go ahead.
Here's the play to determine whether Olean's getting shut out in the first half or they give themselves a chance to score. Messed back to pass, looks to his right, and he's got and it is just short. He throws the deep in route, but it is a hair short. So the turnover on downs, he was looking for Anastasia once again, who made a diving effort for that catch, but Mess just did not put enough sauce on that one, so they come up empty-handed.
Yeah, and the throw is a little low, too, and even if Anastasia were to quote-unquote possess it, the referees would have ruled incomplete as entrapping it on the turf.
So, Norm, if you're the Golden Cougars, do you try and get the 2-for-1 with 1:01 on the clock with your run-based offense? Do you try to maybe get a positive run or throw one deep, or are you content to take it into halftime?
Honestly, if you can get 1 or 2 big runs off with the way that Welsh has been running the ball or Caldwell, why not give it a shot as it's a counter here to Caldwell?
And they get something positive on 1st down. As the clock continues to run, we don't see any urgency from this offense as they get back in their huddle, and I wonder if they are content to go up 21-0 into halftime. As mentioned, they will receive the 3rd quarter opening kickoff to start the 2nd half.
If that's what Coach Fisher is choosing, I can agree with that because you are ahead by 3 possessions. You get like you said, you get the ball start 2nd half. Don't force nothing. Don't commit a turnover where it could be a possible pick 6 or a scoop and score, as this is a wing T here, and it's going to be another counter, but this time it's the Welsh.
And Welsh picks up a couple on 2nd down as what is likely to be the final play of the first half. Golden Cougars executing to perfection on offense. Have not been stopped. Olean's got to figure things out at halftime, Norm.
Yeah, and the good thing is it's only a 21-point deficit. They can regroup during halftime. The Golden Cougars, I'm sure they're hyped up being up by 21 points. And when the 2nd half starts, you got to treat it like it's 0-0. But Colin, we've hit halftime, but we will have a halftime show with a couple of our guys behind the scenes, Jeremy Becker as well as Alex Kolstein.
So halftime score, 21-0. Golden Cougars will receive the 2nd half kickoff. Colin Wood alongside Norm Rodriguez and our producer, Jeremy Becker. We will see you on the other side for the 2nd half on West New York Athletics.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Our homes have become offices, gyms, schools, and playgrounds. And at Western New York Immediate Care, we know you may need us now more than ever. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care physicians are trained to diagnose and treat most non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses. With 5 convenient locations open 7 days a week, help is never far away. Life has changed, but Western New York Immediate Care is still here for you.
When you're ready to buy a home, start your search at howardhanna.com. You'll be the first to see new listings, find similar properties, and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
And we welcome you back here to the Bill Race Field in Falconer, New York. It's the halftime report presented by Howard Hanna and Associates and by Western New York Immediate Care. Alex Colsey, joined by Jeremy Becker, and we have a special guest tonight, coming fresh off a win against Williamsville North last night, Jamestown quarterback Trey Drake. Trey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, big win for you guys last night. You started off the season against 2 very tough opponents, and now back-to-back wins at home with another big one. Your guys' homecoming next week. How are you guys feeling after last night going into this week?
Good. It was awesome just to get another league win under our belt. We're 2-0 in league play in A1, and I felt like just securing that win against Will North gives us a lot of momentum and definitely carrying on for the rest of the season. So we're excited for it.
Yeah, so Trey, you got a new offensive line pretty much in front of you. It looks like throughout the season they've gotten better and better. Do you feel more protected in the pocket than you did in the first 2 games?
Yeah, for sure. Those guys, they knew they had big shoes to fill. I mean, it's no doubt. It's clear that we lost like 5 college football players in our offensive line last year, and like I said, they knew they had big shoes to fill. And you know, it was a little shaky at the beginning of the season, but these guys really stepped into a tremendous role, and they're a key part of our success for sure.
So you guys are now moving on to Niagara Falls next week. So looking forward to that. You guys are trying to kind of take control of the league a little bit. So after rebounding after those 2 weeks, how are you guys feeling towards the rest of the season?
Good. I mean, we're feeling great. Like I said, just getting that win against getting that win against Will North under our belt, I think gives us a lot of hope. We knew that this game in particular could come down to a league title game. Will North is a great team; they're expected to win out, and you know we have high hopes of winning out our league the rest of the season. So we felt like it would just be a good win to have, and hopefully league championship would come back to this game. So.
All right.
Trey, I want to bring it to this game. What are you seeing so far in this game from both sides?
I came in here a few minutes late. I actually just showed up with my sister, my girlfriend, and a few friends. So it seems like Falconer's really got the run game going right now. I feel like on both sides of the ball, they're doing well on both cylinders. So, what are they up 21-zip right now? So I think if they just keep it going, then they have high hopes for winning right now. So.
Yeah, you said that run games looked strong. I know last year you guys had an especially strong running game. Jalen Butera was undoubtedly the best player in Western New York last year. This year you don't have him back, but you still have some solid running backs beside you with Carson Bain and Raylon Wright. But so far in this one, Dalton Caldwell has 2 touchdowns on the night, if I'm correct.
Yep, and Walsh has the other one.
And then Walsh has the other one. So 21-0.
Doesn't look comfortable on both sides, at least to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dalton Caldwell and Matthew Wealth are definitely getting these guys ready to go on all cylinders. I see them making plays on both sides of the ball. So.
All right, so we are actually the only live game right now. There were other games earlier this afternoon. In Class AA, Bennett beat Orchard Park on the road 52-10.
Wow.
And then in AA action, Lockport shut out Niagara Falls 14-0.
Really?
Okay. Chem West beat Hamburg 27-20, a close game there. Williamsville East knocked off Sweet Home. I believe that was 35-28. The Flames moving to 4-0 on the season. Canisius and St. Joe's, we covered that game earlier. That was Jacob Fyock and Francis Beck. Canisius took that one. And then Cardinal O'Hara and St. Mary's, there was no score reported. So.
And that Lockport team is really good. Trey, you faced their defense. You looked like you had them figured out, but I know they're really a really good team.
Yeah, we had we started off really hot. Our motto the last few weeks have just been to finish ball games. I think we kind of fell apart as a team in the second half, fourth quarter. They kind of made a little run, made a little comeback, but we just felt like obviously that win and starting off strong, getting a lot of points on the board. Week 3 against Lockport really helped us in the long run. So.
Well, Trey, thank you for taking your time from joining this game. Talk to us. Colsey, we're going to go to break, and then we'll be right back with Norm and Colin right back on the call again. Trey, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yep, this has been the Halftime Report presented by Howard Hanna & Associates and Western New York Immediate Care.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
Being home.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
And we're about to start the second half in just a few moments with the Falconer Cassadaga Valley Maple Grove Golden Cougars ahead over the Olean Huskies 21-0. And the first half, it was all Golden Cougars. They fired on all cylinders. 3 rush touchdowns, mainly running that triple option offense, mixing it between the wishbone, the wing T, and even throwing in some triple I and power I formations. And it's worked for them. And defensively, it has been a feast for the Falconer team, as 4 sacks in the first half, also forcing an interception, and they only allowed 2 first downs in the first half, so hats off to them as they will also get the ball to start the second half. And if you are the Olean Huskies, it is way too early to panic. It's only a 21-point deficit, and it's not insurmountable by any means. You got a fresh 24 minutes coming up. You just need to get a stop defensively. If that means forcing a 3-and-out or forcing a punt at any point in time during the third quarter, then it's a positive building block. They can get a couple of touchdowns, shut down the offense that is time-consuming because those triple option plays and formations, they are known to milk a lot of clock. There's no reason they can't pull a comeback off. Similar to what happened last night between the Jamestown Red Raiders and the Williamsville North Spartans. Jamestown was up 21-0 at one point and also 28-12. And a near full comeback was successful by the Spartans, but they failed a 2-point conversion with a little more than 2 minutes left in that game. And this is the final game we're on call for this week. However, we will be back next week for a homecoming game at Strider Field. Jamestown Red Raiders will be taking on the Niagara Falls team, and taking a look at next week as well, they're going to be on the road against Maryvale as the Golden Cougars, they'll look to avenge that loss, and right now they're in the process of fully succeeding.
Yeah, they could not have played a better first half, 21-0, as we're getting ready to start the second half here momentarily. But, Norm, what are some of the things that Olean can do to try to give themselves a chance to get back in this?
Well, defensively, start jamming that box a little bit. Get 7-8 defenders in there, but it also wouldn't hurt to have a couple guys on the edges, so that way if they try running those sweeps, they can pursue it with the runner. And from what I saw of the 3 linebackers, they just hang out in the back end in a normal 4-3 defense compared to what the Golden Cougars have done with jamming that box, and that's how they've been able to stop the running game of Olean way more often than not. And they've only held the Huskies' passing game to 2 completions. One of them was on a fake punt.
Yeah, that was Thomas Bates, who threw a nice pass to Anastasia on the fake punt. Other than that, Mest has really not been able to get anything going. He's been sacked a couple times, and not really all of it's his fault because he has had guys in his face constantly. He's had to escape. Sometimes he can't because the pressure is there instantly. And really, I think this one of the keys to the second half for Olean is the guys up front. They got to do a better job of protecting him because we've seen he has the arm strength, but Mest, as a quarterback, he also has to do a better job of going through his progressions in the route tree, seeing who's if the first and second guys aren't open, maybe throw a check down. Because he's been going for these long home runs, and one's been intercepted. Other than that, they've been incomplete, broken up.
One interception as well. But it's a new half. You got to treat it like it's 0-0, and you just got to keep the mentality and the morale on a positive end, because I did mention this before you guys came back, because while everybody was getting back in the formation, went on a little monologue about all those situations for Olean and Falconer Cassadaga Valley Maple Grove. There's no reason why Olean can't get it all together. 21 points, like I said, it may be a large margin, but it's not insurmountable. You get a couple stops, you get a couple of touchdowns. It goes from 21-0 to 21-14, and it can be at a quick pace.
As we're just under a minute here, we get ready for the second half kickoff, and yeah, Olean's got some work to do. Maybe some special team sparks start flying.
Onside kick, but it looks like the fans are going to try and dance to the Village People's YMCA.
We have a packed house here at Falconer Field tonight. The beautiful new field that was installed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Bill Race Field.
It looks great, and they're certainly putting it to use tonight. Fans are cheering. It's homecoming. We just announced the court for everything, and it is certainly a fun Saturday night here in Falconer, New York.
All I know is because we're not doing this for a certain school, I am not doing the YMCA. I don't mean to sound like the party pooper, but we're about to get some action back here as it's going to be Olean kicking off. And I wonder what they're going to try to do. Do they just do a standard kickoff, or do they try to surprise the Golden Cougars and pop it short so where they could possibly recover it, as it's for Olean going to be Alex Linderman booting the ball to start the second half.
Well, they have 4 guys in the front line and 3 behind them, so it looks like they have the hands team ready for any kind of trickeration from Olean.
I wonder what's going to happen.
As Linderman is going to send this one short, and it's going to bounce into the hands of Welsh. He has some space in front of him, makes a man miss, and wow, he is shifty. Still going, and finally brought down. So great starting field position for the Golden Cougars at their own 46.5-yard line, I'd say.
The number one cardinal rule, though, and this is something coaches get mad about, never, as much as you can, never have the kicker be the guy making the tackle. That's what happened. Linderman was one of the guys there to possibly get that. He was there to stop Welsh on an assisted tackle to where he possibly, had he broken it off, could have been a kick return touchdown to start the second half as Falconer's in the power I.
Once again, they bunch it up tight out of the I, give up the middle, and that is a solid run on first down. Number 20, Charlie Reichenbach. So it's good to see them mixing in their 3-headed monster of running backs. That time Caldwell at the fullback position, leading the way to block for Reichenbach. Sopak yet to throw a pass in this game so far, and with the way things have worked out, I don't see why he would.
Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's going to be the same exact formation.
And they run the same exact play. This time Reichenbach bounces it to the outside, and again that was Reichenbach, another first down. So 2 plays and go ahead and move the chains twice.
And it looked like they were kind of going in a semi-hurry-up kind of mode, but it's going to be it almost looked like it's what's called a choir huddle.
Yeah, they get up really close in that huddle. They break it quick and get ready to snap. Same formation once again. Back to Reichenbach. And he's not going to have a first down this time, but picks up about 5, maybe 6 on the play.
And again, Olean, it's a case of they're not jamming it. They're staying relaxed in the box. And honestly, with not having one pass attempt by Sopak, I think you need to start putting 7 or 8 men in there to try and contain this running game, because it's been dangerous for the Golden Cougars throughout this whole game.
Same formation, and this time Sopak rolls out, back to pass. He has Welsh in the end zone, and it's caught. First passing play of the game finds Welsh in the corner of the end zone. So make that 1 throw, 1 completion, 1 touchdown for Lucas Sopak.
Yeah, that was Matt Welsh's second touchdown in the game. And this is kind of similar to 2 weeks ago in their 55-10 or 14 win over East Aurora Holland. Sopak only threw the ball 3 times. He had 1 touchdown pass, but 105 yards passing, 35 yards of completion.
When he does throw, he is accurate. Palladino lines this one up, and it's blocked. So if you want to call that a win for Olean, I guess so, but they give up another touchdown on the opening drive in the third quarter. 27-0, and now it's really do or die. You got to get something going here on this drive.
And again, I'll say it again. We've seen Mess throw it. He's got a good arm. He has to get enough time from his line, because a lot of times when he goes out to pass, the pocket collapses. The Golden Cougars, they they're charging. They're so far of more than one step ahead. It's beginning to get insane. But if Olean can get a touchdown here on the board, they can start some momentum because you don't want to walk out with a giant goose egg on your score column.
And it doesn't help that they left some points up on the board at the end of the first half when they turned it over on downs. Mest had a guy back open down the field. He was looking for Anastasia on the deep in route, threw it short, so he's really got to find his rhythm here. As Palladino's going to send this one away, it's going to be Anastasia, App, and Eisenberg, the trio back to receive for the Huskies.
Looks like they're one guy short. There's only 10 players out there for the there are only 10 players out there for the kicking unit for the Golden Cougars, but even if it's just a solid return to around midfield, that's a good way to start another drive to start the second half, and you're down 27-0. Right now, the main goal has to just be get one on the board. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to walk away shut out.
Palladino's going to go toe to leather here, sends this one high and fielded at the 22 by Eisenberg. Or excuse me, that was number 23, Caden Tingley. So solid return there, out to about almost the 39-yard line is where the Olean offense will set up shop. Still plenty of time left, 10:24 in the third quarter. You don't have to go strictly pass. You want to keep it balanced on offense here. Main focus is just positive yards and don't get behind the sticks.
Yeah, and the last drive they had before the half, App had a couple of nice runs, but Falconer, they were able to catch up to it and stop him for a loss of yardage.
Mess gets the snap, direct give, up the middle on the dive, and an okay pickup there on first down. That was number 40, Noah Gallo. We've seen him get a few carries tonight. Finally breaks a positive one there. We say it all the time, Norm, as an offense, you can't be, well, unless you're Falconer, you can be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you don't have a solid running game like that you can depend on, you can't be one-dimensional. You got to mix it up.
Yeah, and being down 27 points, you want to have a little bit of a sense of urgency because the clock is not your friend.
Mess pitches it out to App, who is just going to run into a wall of defenders for the Cougars. That play was broken from the start as they take 2 steps forward and 1 step back to set up third and about, call it 12 maybe.
Yeah, it was a definite loss of yardage, and it looked like a busted play right from the get-go, and Olean just not able to get any yardage on it, and this is definitely a passing down here. It's a third down.
Excuse me, 3rd and 8. I was looking at the down marker, not where the ball was spotted.
So it looked like a loss of about 2 yards approximately, but let's see what the Huskies do as they break the huddle, and this is a 4-3 right here. Nobody jamming the box for the Golden Cougars, and they got 4 defensive backs out there, 2 corners and 2 safeties.
So Mest once again got 2 running backs to block for him on 3rd down. He's going to drop back. He looks his man all the way. They're going to run the wheel route, and it is far, high, and incomplete. Looking for App on the wheel route out of the backfield. 4th down. What do you do here, Norm?
Honestly, at the spot of where the ball is, it wouldn't hurt to punt it away because if you fail it or get sacked, you're giving the Golden Cougars some good yardage, good field position, and they do have their return team ready. However, late in the first half, they did succeed on a fake punt with Bates. I'm sure this time, though, this merged team will be ready for anything possible for that because they did send over a guy in motion when they executed the fake. Let's see if they try that again.
You can see the Cougars ready for it. They have all kinds of guys back at about the 1st down marker where it is. And we have a flag on the play. It's low, going to bounce and trickle out of bounds.
I wonder if it was an illegal motion.
I think that's what it's going to be. It looked like he made his way towards the line of scrimmage, which would indeed be a penalty.
Because it looked like it was number 6, Isaiah Smith. It looked like he was being set in motion and then was in a wrong spot and corrected it, and if that's seen, that's illegal motion.
Yeah, and if you're going in motion, you got to go east to west on that. You make a break towards the line of scrimmage, they're going to throw that flag all day.
So, according to the ref's indication, it's going to be an illegal shift. And there's also, when it comes to illegal shifts and illegal formations, if you get set in motion and you're covering another person, that's illegal. Or if you don't have enough linemen set at the line, that's another factor. But I think they're talking whether they want the 5 yards after the punt or make them re-kick it.
I would assume, well, the refs are standing inside the 30 of the Cougars, right around the 26 and 27-yard line. That wasn't a bad punt at this point. I would just take the 5 yards after the kick. And it looks like they're going to decline it. No, excuse me. They're going to re-kick it. So 4th down once again.
I like the decision because usually if you have to re-kick, he's going to be a little bit more fatigued and the punt could be shorter distance. So it's a field position thing. But there are some times also if they get a good boot on it, the first one may have been a 40-yarder, the next one could be 55-60.
Welsh and Bear back to receive for the Cougars. And he sends this one away. It's low and fielded at about the 41. Bear makes the man miss, but he is brought down. So great starting field position for the Cougars as they get ready for their second drive to start the third quarter. And I can imagine, Norm, we're going to see what we've seen all game.
Oh, yes.
A lot of runs, some I formation, some of that 500 wing T series.
Yeah, and also their goal should also to milk this clock a little bit. You technically, because the defense has been doing so well shutting down Olean's offense, you don't have to score again. You just need to burn some clock because they're in that power I again.
And this is a give up the middle for a gain of a couple.
Looked like it was Reichenbach on the carry.
Who's gotten far more action in the second half here. We didn't really see him in the first half. Mostly Caldwell up the middle and Welsh on the outside zones and the outside jet sweeps, but they're mixing it up here, which you love to see, and that's what you want to do as the season progresses. You got to make sure everyone who runs the ball for you, you got to make sure they are sharp and honed and ready to go come playoffs.
Besides that one play-action pass, it's been all triple I since the start of the third quarter, and it looks like now they're starting to jam the box as in Olean.
Once again, back to Reichenbach, and going to pick up a couple, set up 3rd and short. He's brought down by Noah Gallo, a linebacker for the Huskies. So now if you're Olean, you got to get off the field here, though, Norm.
Yeah, if you can force a 4th down, that's a big positive, but with it being a 3rd and short and should it fail, the question is, do the Golden Cougars choose to go for it or possibly get Olean the jump or just boot it away? Personally, if it was the case, I'd pick the latter.
Back to the eye, Welsh the lone receiver to the outside. This time, once again, to Reichenbach. He's going to have the first down and more. Makes the man miss. Still going. Brought down to the 39. And they go back to their bread and butter, a play that's normally designed to only pick up a couple. When you have a solid running back that can get yards after contact, he's going to go for much more than just a couple. As that clock continues to wind. And that's going to be, if that's the only pass for Sopak on the night that we saw here, his completion percentage is going to look great on the season.
Oh, big gap by Reichenbach. Gets it past the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Or no, I beg your pardon. That time it was Dalton Caldwell, so that was his first carry of the second half.
This time they give it to Caldwell at the fullback position. So it's been a tale of two halves, not in terms of scoring, but in terms of the formations that we've seen from Cassadaga, Falconer, Maple Grove. We saw a lot of motion, misdirection in the first half, getting your guys out in space towards the numbers in the sideline. This time it's stuff the house, give it to your power backs up the middle, and let them go to work.
Yeah, we're already 5 minutes left in the third.
Give to Caldwell in the fullback dive once again. Good defense there and good pursuit by the D-line that time. Finally able to limit a rush for less than 3 yards. If we had seen more of that, this would be a different ball game here. But give credit to the Cougar offensive line for winning that battle up front. They are pushing that Husky D-line around, kind of bullying them at this point.
Going big chunks at a time.
Once again, out of the eye, Reichenbach up the middle. He gets through the defense, second level, third level. This is going to be a Golden Cougar touchdown. So great running, and that is disciplined running, staying in your gaps, trusting your blockers up front, finds the seam, up past the linebackers into the secondary, and Norm, I know there's still a quarter and some change left, but I think this is going to be 3-1 and Kurt Fisher's 226th career win as a head coach.
Well, that was also Reichenbach's first touchdown run of the season, as it's going to be another extra point. The last one was blocked, but this time that one's right dead center and good. So make that 34-0, and Olean, they need to find some sort of answer. Like I said last drive, the number one goal right now, just get one touchdown on the board.
And it's been unfortunate that their defense hasn't helped out. This is an Olean defense that has struggled over the course of the season. They actually give up more yards on defense than they gain on offense. Not by much, though. It's not a marginal difference on offense. They average around 294 a game, and it's typically a solid mix of run and pass, but so far tonight, yards have been almost impossible to come by because of the swarming and smothering defense from Cassadaga, Falconer, Maple Grove.
Yeah, it seems like that Olean's offense is just overwhelmed by it.
And this was one of the keys we mentioned early on. You want to get Caldwell involved, obviously, but give the other guys some carries, take some of the pressure off his shoulders. They have been doing that well tonight. Matt Welsh been listed at wide receiver, but running all those sweeps, and Charlie Reichenbach getting some action here in the second half, proving that they have a plethora of guys who can run the rock. Palladino kicks this one off, and it's fielded around the 18-yard line.
Tingley again.
Brought down immediately by Garrett Williams. Stayed in his lane.
Yeah, that's the number one rule when it comes to kick coverage. Stay in your lane. And Tingley's been pretty busy with those returns, but more often than not, it's been very minimal yardage. And Olean looking to get a drive going. From what I see here, they've only got 28 yards of total offense.
Compared to the Golden Cougars, 247 total yards. Make that the triple deuce, Norm. 222 for rushing yards. That 25-yard passing touchdown. So once again, Mest in the pocket. He's going to throw the bubble screen to the outside. And this is a solid pickup on first down.
That was the Bates.
The man who starts at wide receiver, plays backup quarterback. If they would have mixed that in earlier on in this game with the short throws, instead of going for the home runs to start out when they were down by only 1 or 2 touchdowns, they could be in a much better position here, but they find themselves in a 34-zip hole with 3.5 on the clock.
Yeah, right now they're running a Brooklyn Bagel Factory as we're looks like a triangle offense here on the pistol. And that was Eisenberg on the carry.
Once again, another third down. As this might be one of the fastest football games I've ever seen, Norm. We're looking at it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a 3rd and 3 at the 32-yard line, and you can't afford a 3 and out. You've got to get a first down here. And I got to say, all but 2 of Olean's drives have resulted in 3 and outs.
Although this one might be out of reach, you want to go into next week on a positive note.
Yes, you do.
As this B2 class is a very tough class. A lot of solid teams.
So looks like we got trips to the right pistol, turning to the empty backfield.
Mess sends App in motion, trying to hit him on the screen outside, but out of the reach. 4th down, and I would assume they're going to punt. And at this point, I mean, what do you have to lose? You know, it's 4th down. You're down 34-0. I know you're backed up in your own territory, but it's 4th and manageable. What does it do if you give up another touchdown here?
All it does is just pads the points on the Golden Cougar side, and they did have a successful fake punt with Bates, so maybe why not try to use his arm again? And I think maybe at some point in the game, if it's not working with Mest for this matchup, why not give Bates a shot with a drive or two, see what he can do with this offense, and maybe get a touchdown or two on the board? And it looks like they are going for it.
So they do elect – they're going to give it to App up the middle, and he is going to get stuffed.
Looked like he may have lost the yard.
Turnover on downs for the 2nd time in this game. Make that 0 for 2 on 4th down for Olean.
Well, they did convert one on that fake punt.
Or, yeah, so make that 1 for 3, excuse me. But nonetheless, it is a 30-yard field for an offense that has been sparking all kinds of fireworks. 247 yards of total offense. $31 carries, 222 yards. That is a fantastic average. Once again, Caldwell on the dive. Flag on the play.
Where it's thrown, it's probably going to be holding.
Officials will banter it up to discuss the penalty. And this is going to be on Olean. Not quite sure what the penalty is.
Okay, while we're waiting for the next play, with the Golden Cougars at 34-0, we're going to recap the Week 3 Players of the Week for the Connolly Cup, and there were a few local guys for it this week. Ryan Carpenter from Randolph, he's an lineman offensively and defensively. Matt Panis from Southwestern, and also Sean O'Brien from Jamestown, who had another big game last night in their win over Williamsville North. There was also Dalton Harper of Maryvale, Mike Doctor at Canisius, Micah Harry at Lancaster, Logan Reska at St. Francis, Dylan Evans at OP, Tyrone Hughes, who plays for McKinley, from Medina, Noah Skinner, Kalen Ford, Cardinal O'Hara, Ricardo Kidd at St. Francis, and Monsignor Martin, Cameron Warburton at Cheektowaga, Dalton Gibble at Pioneer, and also A.J. Watts from the South Park Sparks. So all the Connolly Cup Players of the Week from Week 3, and I'm anticipating a few more in this Jamestown area for Week 4.
And Norm, why don't you explain to the listeners how the Connolly Cup works? So they vote on players each week, and then how does that, as the season progresses, how do they determine who becomes the finalists and then eventually win the award?
It's a mix of total stats for the season, and I would also believe the factors on how far your team went in the playoffs. Last season's winner was from Jamestown, Jalen Butera, who was in his senior year for Jamestown, and now he's playing at Mercyhurst University. But there's going to be a lot of talent in this Chautauqua area that could be well-deserved mentions for this year's Connolly Cup Award.
And this is a very talented section in Section 6. A lot of these guys go on to play college ball. I mean, we know Trey Drake, he's going to play at North Dakota State. That's at the Division 1A level, otherwise known as FCS.
Yeah, what's funny is during the halftime show, Jeremy and Alex had the opportunity to actually interview Trey Drake. He was actually in attendance for the game tonight.
And a lot of these other guys, you know, some of the local colleges, they go play at Buff State, Alfred, Brockport. And college football is college football. It doesn't matter what level you play at. It is hard to play at the next level. It is a year-round job that you do not get paid for.
Yeah, and it looks like, I'm thinking for the way it's looking to start the fourth quarter, there is a backup quarterback warming up for the Golden Cougars. That is Mathis Bear. So we may see him when the fourth quarter starts as the third quarter is about to come to a close with the Golden Cougars running away with it here 34-0.
34-0 indeed. They are driving to start the fourth quarter. We'll see Mathis Bear in backup quarterback action potentially right here on West New York Athletics.
I love
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective pediatric care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome back, everyone. 34-0 is your score to start the fourth quarter here. As Norm, the Golden Cougars could not have played a better game through three quarters.
And it looks like it will be Mathis Bear in at quarterback. Again, he was warming up to close the third quarter, and he's going to see some action. And usually, I've said this before from broadcast with you, when it comes to second-string teams going out onto the field, of course you don't want to intentionally run up the score, but if you don't know when you're going to play, if you're a second-stringer or a third-stringer and you don't go in very much, you're going to play hard to show that you're worth possibly getting more action in the future, and it's the defense's responsibility to stop them because they're going to play hard.
And it looks like it is pretty much the second-string unit in entirety besides a few guys, and this is a give to the outside, and that's number 10, Dan Quattrone, who lost a couple on the play. But it is good to see some of your guys get action, especially when you got a whole quarter, so you at least get one, maybe two possessions of them playing on offense and a guaranteed possession on defense too, because you never know. God forbid injuries happen, but it's a deep roster, and these guys got to be ready to step up when their name's called.
I'm sure they're hungry to put 40 points on the board, but from what I'm seeing for Olean, it looks like it's their main defensive starters.
I think they're just trying to get something positive going here.
Anything would work.
Once again, another give up the middle and stopped for, looks like, no gain on the play. So now we finally see some defensive pressure from that line and those backers for the Huskies now that the second stringers are in. I mean, you would hope that your starters could get some pressure on the second unit, but nonetheless, third and behind the sticks for Cougars, about 12 to go, as they are just trying to keep this clock moving to make this a short-lived game and get ready for next week. Third down, out of the eye. And this time he's going to roll out, but nothing doing there. So we saw Bear, I'm not sure how much quarterback action he's had on the season, but he plays wide receiver, so he certainly is a shifty guy. That time just trying to roll out on the bootleg, but stopped for fourth down. So, I mean, you're in no man's land here. No sense in punting.
Yeah, and from the spot of the ball, if they wanted to try it, it'd be roughly a 41-yard field goal, and Palladino's going out there. You said she was making 38-yarders in warm-ups. Why not give it a shot?
Yeah, and she was making 38-yarders in warm-ups that were good from around 45. So the rule of thumb is typically wherever the ball is spotted, you add on 10 for the depth of the end zone, and then another 3 just to cover the velocity that the ball needs to travel to get through the uprights.
Yeah, and from the snap to the holder, it's 8 yards.
So she's standing at the 33. We'll call this about maybe a 46-yarder, somewhere in that ballpark. Palladino sends this away.
That's going to be short.
And it's just short. She had it on target. If that had the distance, it was splitting the uprights. But she can't be disappointed because that is a long field goal, and not one you see a lot of high school kickers make.
Oh, no.
So good for her for trying. Solid effort. She has been money on the extra points.
Yeah, with the exception of one being blocked. Oh, from the week 1 matchup that I was at when McDowell was playing Bennett, McDowell's kicker, he was making 45-yarders in warm-ups. They put him in for a 48-yarder as the half was coming to a close, down 14-10, and it was shades of Justin Tucker. It hit off the bottom crossbar and it went through.
You can't get luckier than that. I mean, the odds of that happening are 1 in a million. You couldn't do that again if you tried.
Well, let's see who they got out on offense for Olean. From my view, it looks like it is the normal starters, and it looks like the regular starting defense as well.
So Mest will get the snap, give to App up the middle, and so good pursuit from the second stringers for the Cougars. As the Huskies, it has been a theme all night long, have not established any kind of rhythm on offense, and even when they did, turnovers were forced. Mest had trouble finding time in the pocket. It was really a couple-step drop back. He already had guys in his face. And this is going to be a game for Olean where they go back and look at film. There is a lot to correct and get prepared, but they are a talented team that can still make a run in B2. As we have a timeout on the field. Timeout Olean. And we're going to stay here for that. So, Norm, why don't you let everyone know what the upcoming games are for each team next week?
All right, for the Falconer Casadega Maple Grove team next week, they will be.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you on the spot there. I just don't have the schedule in front of me.
You're all right. I just got to find the right paperwork for it. They are going to be back on track with a win. They're improving to 3-1 on the season. Shaking off the loss against Cheektowaga last week, 30-14. And they're on pace for a win here tonight. Next up, they're going to be on the road for a league matchup. They're playing Maryvale next week. And then while I'm already on Section 6, for Olean, they're going to fall to 2-2 on the year. And they're going to be hosting a Cheektowaga for a league game.
And that's going to be a tough game that they got to get mistakes corrected for, as Cheektowaga handled Falconer last week. So a tough test for Olean next week. Going to be a long film session. Mest back to throw, finds a man, completes it. That was number 3, Thomas Bates, on the reception to make it 3rd and short. So a lot of time has passed. A lot of points have been put up for the Cougars, and the Olean Husky offense finally getting some kind of positive yards, but it's going to be too little too late.
But you know what the good thing is? If you can get some first downs, possibly get a score, you can build some confidence going into your game next week and say, hey, we were able to get something going. We got some pride back getting a touchdown on the board, and their next focus is going to be their next game.
And Mest hands it off to App up the middle.
And there's a flag.
He's bottled up. That was Bryant Morrison with a tackle for loss, but we will await the penalty.
Honestly, from right after the hit, this may be a personal foul.
And right indeed there, Tony Romo. It is a personal foul, so that'll be an automatic first down for Olean. And one thing I noticed, I was looking at the schedules. Typically teams, they have the non-league games to open up, maybe week 1 and week 2, and then it's league from there on out. Both of these teams have played only league, and it's going to continue that way until the last 2 weeks of the season. So sort of a different schedule here in B2, the way they do it. They start out wasting no time, get right into it in conference play, and then finish off with some non-league play in the final 2 weeks to get ready for playoffs.
Personally, I like that. Get your league matches out of the way, and a lot of times people say those non-league games, they like to call them tune-up games. Build the confidence, because if it's a big school versus a small school, more likely than not, the big school is going to walk out with a big victory. But sometimes there are little surprises.
App goes in motion. He looks for him on the swing. He fakes the swing. Anastasia down the field running the vert, but out of his reach. Great play design there, just off target.
And again, Mest has the arm strength. And if that would have been on point to Anastasia, that's possibly 6 points right there.
And I personally never played quarterback, but I know my quarterback in high school, he always talked about it's hard when you don't have confidence established throughout the course of the game, which it was hard for him with all this pressure, not really any easy throws and completions. A lot of rockets launched down the field, and he never really got his timing and rhythm down. We know he has the arm strength, so that's going to be something they're going to have to work on throughout the week as they get ready for Cheektowaga.
And the good thing is only second down, so you still false start.
Another pre-snap penalty. It's going to back him up 5.
And that's been another thing that's hurt Olean drives where they've begun to get together. Just little penalties like that. And 5 yards, if you get more than one, they add up quick. 5 goes to 10, and the 15, and the 20. It's going to make it second down and long for the Huskies, 2nd and 15.
Behind the sticks once again, and
in all honesty, though, that last play that was intended for Anastasia, it looked like it was going to be a possible backward pass to App and then a throw forward, because you can do that as long as it's a backward pass. And if you wanted to throw it to your quarterback, the quarterback would have to be in shotgun formation.
And that's been his guy that he's gone to for most of the night, Anastasia. He's been the deep threat guy. They fake the pitch, and he's got a man downfield, and this is broken up. That is outstanding coverage by Welsh.
Looked like it was intended for Isaiah Smith, and man, if Welsh isn't there, that's possibly a reception, but it also looked like Welsh could have been close to another interception, because the Chase has the interception right now for the Golden Cougars as it's 3rd down and 15 at their own 37, and being down 34-0, any spot right now is 4-down territory.
Last one overthrown, that time underthrown, as he was looking for Smith down the field, and that is, you can't ask for better coverage than that from Welsh as a DB. 2 biggest things. It's okay if you're hand fighting, but don't get too grabby, and also turn your head, look for the ball. As long as you do that, you can be as physical as you want. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to call that pass interference if you just turn your head.
It's a fake sweep and throw that. Oh, that's incomplete. That one was intended for a Tingley, and he makes that catch. He's got an open gap in the center of the field and possibly at least the first down.
And the struggles continue for the Husky offense. That time Mest put that one right at the numbers there for Tingley.
This has to be 4-down territory here. You're down 34-0. You've got nothing more to lose right now. You've got everything to gain.
So give credit to the Cougar defense, though, on the night.
Oh, they're punting.
Limited Olean to 54 yards of total offense.
I wouldn't mind seeing another fake here. It has worked for them. They do send a man in motion.
This is a high snap, great catch. Low winder that's going to take an Olean roll.
Wow, beautiful bounce.
So that was a grounded one that bounced at about the 40, but great net punt there that rolls to about the 20-yard line.
So roughly a 43-yard punt, and that ball is rolling so much we might as well cue the theme to Rawhide.
And we know the Cougar offense, their second stringers, they're going to be hungry to get a score here.
And they came dangerously close, and had that field goal attempt by Palladino had been about 5-6 yards shorter, that would have been through the uprights.
So hats off to some of their key guys. Obviously, Dalton Caldwell, Charlie Reichenbach, and Matt Welsh. Even Cam Bauer running the ball. Devin and Bryant Morrison on defense, and even Garrett Williams. Their D-line and their linebackers have played outstanding tonight, limiting this Olean defense to a nightmare in terms of yardage.
And this is what they've been doing the whole half. The triple I formation is that's a good chunk of yardage there in the run to about the 25-yard line. Looked like from my view it was Quattrone.
I'm sure they're going to do everything in their power to make this the last drive of the game, as we're getting close to 6 minutes now, 6:10 on the clock. 2nd and short, 4 to go. No rush in the huddle, taking their time. That's number 60, Luke Vandeveld, that trots out onto the field.
Let's see if Barrett can do a play so good he won't need that aspirin.
I like that wordplay there. That was creative. I formation once again. Give up the middle and stopped short. Going to bring up 3rd and about 3. Looked like that was Reichenbach once again, so they're keeping him in there because he really is kind of their number 2 guy. So I get why they're leaving him in. Although we did see him in the second half, Kurt Fisher in the offense, they switched it up a little bit, going with Caldwell at the fullback position, Reichenbach at the tailback. And if you're Reichenbach, you love to have a guy like that who's physical, stout, and can really push guys around, being your lead convoy.
Even a stop here and forcing a punt would be a good way to build some blocks of positivity for the Huskies. And they're starting to jam the box right here.
3rd and short, not a defensive player, more than 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a tackle for loss. Going to bring up 4th and 8.
So this may be the last chance here for Olean.
So a rare occasion here. Punt unit comes on for the Golden Cougars.
First punt of the night, and it looks like it is Caldwell that is the punter for the Golden Cougars. And the way he's been playing, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see a one that's high in the air with a lot of hang time on it.
So we'll see if the Swiss Army knife can send one deep. App is the short man back. Looks like Anastasia's the deep man back. This one is short. It's going to go out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So short field, 3:55 on the clock. If you're Olean, you want to make this the last possession of the game. And like you've been saying all night, Norm, can't have the journey back home on the bus putting up a goose egg.
Yeah, and this is the best chance they've had all night. This is the best field position they've had. And earlier throughout the game, it was a little bit windy, so that may have altered Caldwell's punt a little bit. But the way the defense has been, though, even 49 yards, this is not going to be easy. Olean's going to have to earn every inch to get 6 on the board.
And they're going to have to earn 5 less yards than they have gained total over the course of the evening.
And they're showing a blitz.
Mest rolls out, got a blocker in front, finds the man Anastasia, but once again dropped. So really, I mean, these throws are hit or miss. Mest has been off target here and there, but his receivers got to bail him out sometimes. And so far in this fourth quarter, they haven't been doing that, haven't been too sure-handed.
Well, his last couple of throws were on point. That one for that was intended for Tingley, that was right at his breadbasket, but he tried catching it with his chest. And then the other one to Anastasia, I wonder if it was too much of a bullet to where he couldn't get a clean handle of it.
2nd and 10, 49-yard line. Mest looks to his left for the bubble screen. That one is caught. Got some room to run. And it looks like it's going to be a first down. Thomas Bates, who over the course of the night has been the go-to guy. Typically he's not the number 1 receiver, but he's had a chunk of their yardage on offense, and he's been bailing Mest out on these throws. But those easy screens, that's a routine pass, pitch and catch.
Yeah, and he's been one of the couple bright spots for Olean. I got to say the top 2 have been him and App. When App's gotten good blocking, he has executed a few nice runs on the handoffs he's gotten.
1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Huskies pick up a first down as they're trying to get something going here on offense. As they go trips to the left, and I wonder if they're going to take a shot to the lone receiver on the far side. Mest looks that way. He's going to launch it that way in a double coverage, and I get why he's doing that, but he also had safety help. Matt Welsh had safety help over the top, and that was Caldwell who was reading that the whole way, and that's a high-risk, low-reward throw from Mest there.
Yeah, what they did was they ran a stack on the left side, and it wouldn't hurt just throwing that simple screen. You got 2 guys right in front of you. They're possibly your lead blockers. Get at least 6-7 yards.
Second and 10 once again as they flip the formation this time. Trips to the right, lone receiver to the short side as they're going to fake the bubble screen, hand it off up the middle. App is going to be stopped for a minimal gain. brought down by Garrett Williams, one of the anchors for this Cougar defense.
Already the less than 2.5 minutes left. This game, it's gone by pretty quick.
I mean, have you ever heard of a 2-hour football game before?
Somewhat, especially when it's a big deficit and you have the running clock.
And that's also counting the factor that we started a few minutes after 7, too.
So this will be roughly 2 hours and change.
3rd and long for the Huskies, just trying to get a positive note here to end this ball game. Mest back to pass. He looks right. He's got a man high and intercepted.
Yeah, that pick was by number 8, Mathis Bear. So the quarterback getting an interception, and it was off a tip drill. And for Mest, that's the 2nd interception he's thrown tonight, and that's probably going to put a cap on what has just been a big struggle for Olean in a night where all cylinders were fired by Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove.
I mean, I'm really trying to nitpick at things that the Cougars can do better, but I'm trying to reach and think back over the course of this game, and I really can't think of anything. I think this is one of the most flawless football games I have ever seen, offense, defense, and special teams. But Norm, for Olean, what are, 1 or 2 things that they got to work on throughout the week to prepare for Cheektowaga next week?
What they need to do is they need to have the O-line give Mest enough time to get better throws off, because a lot of the throws that he had that were over or underthrown, the pocket collapsed on him, and he was running for his life on a lot of those plays. And another factor, when the ball's on the money, the receivers, you got to learn how to put your hands together and shape it like a triangle to make the catch and not catch it with your chest, because if that bounces off a pad, that's a possible interception. And another thing is defensively, I get some practice runs going with 7-8 defenders in the box to try and contain some running games, because I am sure this will not be the only strictly ground and pound team they'll be facing throughout the regular season.
Absolutely not. The Cougars won the battle of the trenches. Credit to the O-line up front. They pushed that D-line around all night, allowed their guys to get out in space and really just put this one on ice here. We're under a minute, and this is going to be career win number 226 for Kurt Fisher, the man who has 5 state championships in 3 different sports, 2 in football, 2 in basketball, 1 in girls softball. Been around the Western New York high school scene for so long now. He's a great guy to talk to. He's really personal, but he is one of the most electric people I have ever met on the sidelines. I even when we were MGCL back in the day, I didn't play, but I dressed on some of those teams, and just to watch him do his magic, it is a thing of beauty. But on the other side, it is Phil Vecchio, head coach for Olean. Been around the program for 7 years, who is typically a solid team in Class B. They had an okay year last year. They're going to fall to 2-2 as that clock hits triple zeros. Final score, Cassadaga Falconer, Maple Grove 34. Olean, unfortunately, with a goose egg up there, 0. As they meet at midfield to shake hands. Norm, do you have any final comments or remarks?
All I got to say is Olean cannot let this get to them. They're still at 500. It's not like they're 1-3 or 0-4. You're 2-2. So you're at the crossroad where you can define this. You can have yourself defined as this and go on a streak, or let it defeat you and go on a bad skid. But they'll have to start it next week when they're on the road against Maryvale. And the Golden Cougars, their next game, they are going to be against, let me just take a look at it one more time. Olean's playing Cheektowaga, and the Golden Cougars are playing Maryvale, so I had it flip-flop. That's my bad.
So, once again, 34-0 final score. Golden Cougars, 3-1 overall and in Class B2. Olean, 2-2 overall, also in Class B2. I am Colin Wood alongside Norm Rodriguez, our producer Jeremy Becker, and the rest of our fantastic West New York Athletics crew. We will see you next week for Week 5 high school football in Section 6.